Welcome back to Smitty's Learning Room. Today we continue to look at the principles of training and more specifically looking at the warm-up cool-down principles. So when we have a look at the syllabus, we look under the focus question, how does training affect performance? And we're looking at the dot point principles of training and all the way down to the final principle, warm-up and cool-down. This video will also have a look at how a warm-up and cool-down can be applied to both aerobic and resistance training. So by now you should have a pretty good understanding of the principles of training in relation to progressive overload, specificity, reversibility, variety and training thresholds. And now we come to the final video, which looks at warm-up and cool-down. So if we have a look at the concepts of the warm-up and cool-down, they're sort of two parts. So the warm-up is essential for preparation for an athlete for activity because it prepares the body for upcoming activity or skills. And it allows the body to engage in aerobic movement, flexibility exercises and some skill-specific movements to prepare that body both mentally and physically for the movements that are going to occur during a game or an event. The cool-down activity always happens after the event and usually as soon as possible once the event has finished. And it generally is done as an active recovery to assist removing lactic acid from the muscles and the blood, which enhances recovery. It also allows the body to try and sort of rid the body of this lactic acid to sort of remove any stiffness that might develop later on as delayed onset of muscle soreness. So what we can do for the cool down is it's usually a light aerobic activity, so maybe a light jog or a swim or a ride even, followed by some flexibility exercises to try and remove that lactic acid from the body and decrease joint stiffness. So now we have a look at how the warm-up and cool down can be applied to aerobic training and resistance training. So when we have a look at how it can be applied to aerobic training, gross motor movements are used to increase blood circulation to the body. And stretching is done to allow our body to warm up and to get ready for any activities that are about to occur. And obviously we have a look at skill-specific movements. So sometimes we'll do a few little drills or what we call as run-throughs, so like high knees, butt kicks, that sort of thing, to get our body in preparation for the event. When we look at how we can apply the warm-up cool-down to resistance training, it's pretty much the same as what it is for aerobic training. So we look at gross motor movements to increase blood circulation, we look at stretching and skill-specific movements in relation to resistance training. Now the warm-up cool-down is just one principle of training. There are 5 other principles of training which have been covered in previous videos on Smitty's Learning Room. If this is the first one that you've watched, make sure you watch the other 5 to ensure that you cover the whole dot point on principles of training.